a goalkeeper who wore neon vomit and scored 35 goals, a one-armed World Cup winner who humiliated defenders, a con man who faked his way into the Premier League, and a keeper who refused to wear shorts for 25 years. These aren't FIFA glitches. These are real footballers who broke every rule in the beautiful game. Let's meet football's biggest weirdos. Jorge Campos, Mexico's 1.68 meters goalkeeper, was basically a create-a player gone wrong. While normal keepers wore boring black, Campos designed his own kits that looked like someone vomited neon paint on a Hawaiian shirt. He'd randomly sub himself on as a striker because why not? Scored 35 club goals and once dribbled past 3 defenders before remembering he was supposed to be in goal. At the 1994 World Cup, he made saves that defied physics while dressed like a human highlighter. Coaches begged him to tone down the palette. Campos just showed up in an even louder jersey the next day, so they gave up. His positioning was chaos theory in action. He'd charge 40 yards out, do a somersault, then somehow save a one-on-one. Defenders had anxiety attacks not knowing if their keeper was behind them or playing left wing. FIFA never rewrote the rulebook, so everyone just had to accept the Technicolor nightmare between the sticks. He retired, popped up as a goalkeeping coach, and then a TV analyst who still wears clothes that hurt your eyes. Peak Mexican football energy. Hector Castro. Hector lost his right forearm in an electric saw accident at 13. Doctors said forget football. Castro said watch me score in a World Cup final with one arm. Uruguay's El Manco turned his disability into a superpower. Defenders didn't know how to mark someone who balanced differently. He'd shield the ball with his good arm while his stump threw off opponents' spatial awareness. Scored Uruguay's 4th goal in the 1930 World Cup final, locking in the 4-2 win for their first world title. Celebrated in a tangle of hugs, teammates nearly yanked his good arm off in the pile-on. Opposition fans hurled names. He answered by planting the ball in the net again and again. Hector once nutmegged a defender, pointed at his stump, then at the defender's 2 functioning arms. The defender retired at halftime. When asked about his handicap, Castro said, "I'm only handicapped when I have to applaud." He played until 31, coaching while still registered as a player in case of emergencies. Died at 55, but not before proving arms are optional in football. Rene Higuita. Colombia's goalkeeper thought his penalty box was a prison. El Loco would dribble past strikers at his own 6-yard box because normal keeping was beneath him. He took free kicks, assisted goals, and once set up a teammate with a booming clearance from his own half. But nothing tops the scorpion kick at England versus Colombia in 1995. Jamie Redknapp's cross floating toward goal, which any sane keeper would simply catch. Higuita jumped forward, arched his back, and kicked the ball clear with both heels over his head. Wembley lost its mind. Redknapp questioned reality. The save broke physics and common sense simultaneously. Later in his career, he got arrested for involvement in a kidnapping case because, of course, Colombia's craziest keeper had cartel connections. Served time, came back, kept doing stupid things. His career stats include 41 goals scored, obscene numbers for a keeper. Modern keepers play out from the back. Higuita ran Colombia's entire offense while barely pretending to stay in goal. Absolute madman. Peter Crouch. Peter was 2.01 meters tall and played in the Premier League. He touched the ball with his feet about as often as he touched it with his head, which was constantly, scoring headers while sitting down. His strike partners needed altitude sickness pills. But the robot dance changed everything. England versus Hungary, 2006. Scores, then breaks out the world's stiffest robot moves. Suddenly, every wedding had drunk uncles doing the crouch. He embraced the meme. If you're good at something, never do it for free. Except Crouch did it every time he scored. Had feet like dinner plates, but somehow scored overhead kicks. Once asked what he'd be if he wasn't a footballer, replied, "A virgin." King of self-deprecation. Played for England 42 times despite turning like an oil tanker. Married a model, proving personality beats appearance. Still holds the record for most headed goals in Premier League history. Retired to podcasting where he's somehow funnier than his playing career. Garrincha. Garrincha was born with a curved spine, bow legs, and his right leg 6 centimeters shorter than his left. Doctors said he'd never walk properly. Garrincha said, "Hold my cachaça," and became football's greatest dribbler. His deformed legs gave him a center of gravity that broke physics. Defenders knew he'd go right. He'd still go right. They still couldn't stop him. Won 2 World Cups for Brazil. His genius shined even before booze took over his life. The 1962 tournament was basically the Garrincha show. Scored twice against England and walked off like he'd just nutmegged the neighborhood kids. He had 14 children with different women because his dribbling skills worked off the pitch too. Garrincha once dribbled past the same defender 4 times in one move just to prove a point. The defender retired immediately. died at 49 from alcohol poisoning, which surprised nobody. His funeral had more people than most World Cup finals. They buried him in his Botafogo shirt because even death couldn't separate Garrincha from football. Ali Dia, the greatest fraud in football history. November 1996, a prank caller impersonating George Weah rings Southampton claiming Dia was his cousin. Says his cousin played for PSG and Senegal, which were complete lies. Southampton's manager was either drunk or stupid, probably both. Signed Dia without watching him play. Dia came on as substitute against Leeds. What followed was 53 minutes of pure comedy. His first touch flew straight out for a throw. He drifted around the right wing and even crashed into teammate Gordon Watson. Passes bounced off his shins to Leeds players. Leeds soon started feeding him the ball for a laugh, and defender David Weatherall was spotted grinning after one hopeless chase. After 53 strange minutes, Graham Souness took pity and subbed him. Saints fans felt like the halftime charity match had started early. Subbed off after what many still call the worst cameo in Premier League history, disappeared immediately. Later found playing non-league while running businesses. Still claims he was decent. Video evidence suggests otherwise. Proof that confidence beats talent if you lie hard enough. Gábor Király. Gábor refused to wear shorts like a normal keeper. Played in gray joggers for 25 years because of superstition. Started wearing them in 1996 during a chilly match for Haladas. Saved a penalty on his Hungary debut in 1998. Never took them off. Looked like your dad who got lost heading to Home Depot ended up in goal. Played in the Premier League, Champions League, and Euros dressed like he was doing weekend errands. Coaches begged him to wear proper kit. He'd threaten retirement. They'd give up. Became Hungary's oldest player at Euro 2016, aged 40, still in tracksuit bottoms. Made crucial saves while looking like a PE teacher. Journalists asked about the pants more than his performances. His response, "I save goals, not fashion shows." Kept several pairs in rotation, washing them because even lucky joggers need cleaning. Retired with 108 caps, 0 fashion sense, and legendary status. Proved you can reach football's highest level while dressed for a grocery run. Carles Puol. Puol started as a goalkeeper. Too short, moved to striker, too slow, tried right wing, too ugly. Barcelona even accepted an offer from Malaga in 1998, but Puol refused to leave. Then discovered his superpower, being absolutely mental. Transformed into football's most psychotic center back. Hair like Tarzan, defended like a honey badger on steroids. Never backed down from anyone. Headed balls that should have been kicked. Kicked balls that should have been headed. Bled every match and considered it a slow day. Once played with a fractured cheekbone and didn't tell anyone. He scored headers while horizontal and made tackles that bent space-time. Led by screaming at teammates who were already trying their hardest. Won everything possible while looking like he escaped from Braveheart. Retired in 2014 when his knees finally waved the white flag. Now roams the planet as an ambassador for La Liga and UEFA, still hasn't cut his hair. Adabio Aken. Aken was built like a brick shithouse, had a baby with a German Panzerjäger. 102 kilograms of pure muscle playing football. He bench-pressed 120 kilograms for warm-up. Defenders bounced off him like pinballs. Once sent 2 center backs to the hospital just by standing still. Called himself the Beast because gentle giant didn't match someone who bulldozed defenses for fun. FIFA gave him 97 strength rating. He complained it was too low. Spent most of his career wrecking lower league defenders, even after higher divisions came calling, because he liked being the biggest fish in the brawl. Scored goals by walking through defenders like they were holograms. Celebrated by flexing, the kind of showboat pose that made stadium roofs vibrate. Opposition teams started fielding extra defenders, but it didn't matter. You can't tackle Akinfenwa. Retired as Wycombe's cult hero after bullying League One into submission. Now runs a clothing line called Beast Mode On. To this day, he's still bigger than most current players combined. Edgar Davids. Glaucoma tried to end Edgar's career. Davids said not today and became football's first Terminator with cool-looking goggles. Those were portable weapons systems. The glasses turned a defensive midfielder into football's final boss. Dreadlocks flowing, goggles gleaming, ankles breaking. Looked like he escaped from the Matrix to dominate midfields. Once collided with Roy Keane, neither man blinked. The goggles gave him superhuman powers, or maybe he always had them. Played everywhere because why limit greatness to one position? Teams started targeting his glasses. Bad idea. Made him angrier. Ajax, Juventus, Barcelona, Inter all got the Davids experience. Winning trophies while looking like a cyborg. Retired. Became player manager at Barnet. Played in goggles at age 40 because mortals age. Davids doesn't. Now partners with brands on special edition goggles instead of running his own line. Still looks like he could 2-foot tackle you into next week.